What's up guys, my name is Tom, welcome back to another video, and here to the last two question mark challenge with the F2 cars. Today we're going to drive as Guanyu Zhou in the UNI-Virtuosi with the 2019 cars, because we don't have at the moment the 2020 cars. That plate should come around September like in the last year, but here we are at the Austrian Grand Prix. We're going to do a 50% feature race as the Chinese, and we'll see what we can do by starting in last place and how many positions we can gain. It's going to be harder because the F2 cars are equal, so this promises to be quite a challenge. Make sure to smash the like and subscribe if you do see plenty more Formula 1 and F2 content. Really motivates me to make more. If you could that and share this video, it would mean a lot to me. But here we are on the grid, starting in last place as Guanyu Zhou, and strategy wise we're going to start on the ultra softs and then switch to the soft, and we should across the line. So no rain. I think is expected rain at least in the feature race on the Saturday, and maybe in the sprint race. But we'll see what we can do in these next 15 laps, I believe, for the steering Grand Prix with the F2 cars. 5 red lights and it's lights out, and the way we go, and apologies, it is 20 laps, so I was making some confusion, but it was an absolute terrible start in comparison with my starts in the F1 2019. So the thing that we have to work is in the F2 starts, as we dive down the inside of Sergio Serekam and Raf Boschong. We clear the Brazilian, I believe, but we find ourselves side by side with the trident of the Swiss, and the Serekam is going to come back as well. So I think it is a free wide, but we're going to dive down inside a couple of cars because everyone is bunched up. Mazepin is making a move on Latifi, going on the inside of Ragunetan, I believe, and Boccolacci as well, and that's us into P14 as we are still side by side with the French in the Campo. So this battle is not over, but it's been a pretty good start considering that everyone has the same car, as we're going to make a move on the inside. So Ragunetan in P16, so that is pretty impressive. So, who is Ragunetan, to be honest, so apologies for the bullying. I'm kidding, Ragunetan, if you're watching this, but we're going to press on because it was a successful start. So now we're going to try to catch these guys and not get stuck in the DTI, because in this year's game the DTI is a thing, and you can lose time when you're behind the car. So this promises to be really challenging in my last two question mark challenge in the F2 cars. Things are really looking good. The pace has been good. I'm running with 102 difficulty without a setup, so this track is really good for me, so that's helped to increase a little bit the difficulty, as we have a brilliant exit through the last corner, and Mazepin gets a little bit caught on the curb. The AI really likes to mount the curb in the last corner. Maybe that results in losing some speed, and we outbrake the Russian, and that's us into P13. So it's been a good start on lap 2, but Mazepin is not done yet because he's gaining and gaining slipstream. I think my engine is a little bit hot because of the revs at the start, and he's going to dive down inside. We're going to try to hold around outside this position. He converts my attack into a move on Nicholas Latifi, so brilliant stuff by the ART, and this is not really ideal for me because I'm losing time. So the ideal in this episode, it would be P8, because that will result in a reverse grid pole position, because remember that the top 8 is reversed in the sprint race, the results of the feature race, as we're going on the inside, a copycat of the last lap move, and that says into P13 maybe now, but we're going to have the RS, so it should make things easy for us, because we're going to have a little bit of extra line speed. We have that situation that everyone is stuck in the DRS, so the DRS doesn't have that much effect, but we're catching a lot these guys because Galeo and Jack Aitken are going at it, and this is really good for us, but we have a long way to go, and we have to be patient with this move. So it is a 2 wide, now it's going to be a 3 wide because Latifi is joining to the party, and this is a 3 wide. Look at that beautiful shot. As you can see, Latifi is going to lose all the momentum, and he's going to allow to overtake not just the dams, but the campos of Jack Aitken, as we try to go around the outside. We're gone a little bit deep, and that invites Latifi to try to take a look, but we managed to close the door, and we are going to try to go around the outside of Jack Aitken. Brilliant stuff between the Brits, but we can't make the move stick, and we leave the fight for another day. But that was a beautiful moment between the AI going 3 wide. Is very rare to see, and the AI going 3 wide in that part of the track, and we leave the fight for another day. But in these last 2 corners, the AI seems to be a little bit slow, and Jack Aitken has a poor exit like the other guys, and Mazepin as well. We're going to have some DRS. We're going to try to force our way, try to go run inside, but Aitken is not going to have it, and we have no choice to go on the inside and giving a little bit of a squeeze, giving a taste of his own medicine, and we squeeze him so much that he finds himself side by side with Nicholas Latifi. So yeah, gotta be aggressive with these F2 cars. If the AI is aggressive with the F1 cars, you have to be with these F2 cars. But I'm really liking the progress at the moment. I'm really loving life by driving these F2 cars. Feel so much better in this game. Already felt in the F1 2019, but feel so much better now. Some tweaks over there in the handling. I tried to go on the inside of Galeo, but I decided to back off. I can't do I think it's harder to make dive bombs in these F2 cars, to be honest, than the F1 cars. I think dive bombs are much easier with the F1 cars. I tried to take a look as we enter in hyper speed mode. I tried to take a look around outside of Galileo, but no use, and we have to wait through the last corner once again. This is a very weak point for the AI, as you can see, and we're going to have the help of the DRS as we cross the line, and we're starting lap 5, and that's us into P10. And he brakes really early, as you can see, and I close the door just to make sure that he doesn't try something around outside and makes a switch back, and that's us into P10. So we are in the points, but remember that the reverse grid pole position, it is in P10, but Galileo seems to be not done yet, because he's going to fight back with the help of the DRS, try to go around the outside. I'm trying to squeeze him as much as I can, because I can't lose time with the guys, because they are so much slower, and I think definitely now we are in P10. He has DRS, but he doesn't have enough straight line speed to get ahead of us. He tried to take a look, I think he was trying to take the inside line, but no use, and now we're going to try to catch Louis Delatraz. That is 3.4 seconds, and that is a lot, so we have to, it's time to push this crunch time, and remember that in these cars we don't have the pace advantage, so it's just raw pace, it's just about you and the car is the same, so we don't have that pace, that car advantage, and I decided to pit one lap earlier. We've been catching Correa, as you can see. We are like, we were catching by like a second lap, but I think I can do more by doing the undercut, so we're going to pit on this lap, and we're going to dress a brand new set of soft tires and go till the end of the Grand Prix. So hopefully we can do the undercut like we did in the last question mark challenge with the F1 cars and the Norris as Lando Norris. So if you haven't watched that, make sure to check it out. But slower pit stop as always, and this is a little bit painful. I don't want to get held up. We get held up a little bit by the MP Motorsport or Ragnar. It had to be Ragnar. Okay, I'm just messing around, but at the moment we're going to get out in P16 behind Hubert. Hubert was ahead of us, but and Correa is out of the race, so it's going to be a free position, so that was really unfortunate. Thankfully there's no virtual safety, unfortunately there's no virtual safety car to help us out to get some extra speed in the pit lane. Going bubble on the third sector, so things are really looking good for us. It was a bit hard to get some temperature in the tires, and as you can see, proving my point, because Latifi got ahead of us, but that is really close margin, because now we are side by side, so it was a very well-timed overcut by the Dams cars, and so we're going to try to go around the outside of the Dams. We're going to try to make a switch back, but it gets really decent traction. As you can see, a little bit of wheel spin, and Latifi overtook us, and the overcut worked with these F2 cars, so that was pretty interesting to see, to say the least. And Latifi gets ahead of us. I'm trying to now get a move, because I think he's a little bit slow, so I think it was just the overcut that helped, but I think in terms of raw pace, on track pace, we are stronger than him. As we're going into high speed mode, we gained a little bit in the last few corners, the long corners, but Latifi is still ahead, as we have some some fastest lap fast. He locks up a little bit, so he can make things easy for us, setting personal best. It is going to be enough to get fastest lap. No, because we are stuck in some dirty area. We made contact, as you can see. We touched a little bit our nose in his gearbox, and we receive a warning because of the contact. So thankfully, no front wing damage, but we went on the inside, and that's us into P9. And now we have a lot of work to do, because first we're setting some fastest laps, so we're going to be putting some sweaty laps, because we have to catch Louis Delatraz. That is 3.5 seconds ahead of us, and we have just 9 laps to go. And the games have been very slight, but as you can see, making a montage of the laps that are going by, and we're definitely getting closer and closer to Delatraz. Kyoto is faster than us, up into P7, but I think we have the pace to catch Delatraz, and I've been pushing so hard in these laps. My tires are I'm starting to feel a little bit of tire wear, but most importantly, we're catching the Swiss, and it is in P8, it's the reverse grid pole, and we are already in DRS range, as we are finishing the penultimate lap, starting a fast lap. We're going bubble in the first sector thanks to the slipstream, but we're starting pretty decent laps despite the tire wear that we have. But we're going to be using all the track available to us, as you can see, and let's see if we can get a really decent exit. The rears are starting to fade away a little bit, and we have DRS in the Swiss, so this should be a pretty easy move. Gaining. The slipstream is less powerful in this game, and we're going to eat on the inside. It moves a little bit under braking, so it's nice to see some aggressive drive. But we mount a curb, and this is going to make us lose a little bit of momentum, and Delatraz holds a run outside, so the opportunities are running out in this last lap of this Syrian Grand Prix. So I have no choice than eat down the inside of Delatraz. Made a little bit of contact, but forgive me, because I gotta send the move. Okay, it was P8, and yeah, this was for the fans, so apologies to that, but yeah, I had to make this move. It was really stupid. I wouldn't make it online, because that would be absolutely disgusting. So apologies for this move I had to make, because this is P8, and yeah, I made some dive bombs in the F1 last question mark challenge, but they were successful. This one it wasn't, because that was so disgusting that it should have been a penalty. But there he is. Zhou the King wins the feature race. So who's going to win the feature race? I don't know, because maybe Zhou can win the race. He's going to start in P2. Ahead is going to be Yuki Tsunoda after setting pole position in qualifying. But that was a really fun challenge nonetheless. We have the driver of the day award, and the reward it is P8. If he made the sprint race, he would be in pole position. So yeah, it was a very fun race. I had to push a lot in this second stint, and you can see in the tire wear it was 60%. So I don't know how I could have managed to pass Louis Deltras with the tires in that state. But yeah, I really enjoyed to make this challenge. Then definitely the F2 cars are more pleasant to drive in this game, and Zhou the King wins the race, followed by Nobuharu Matsushita. But he's another Japanese that is in front in the feature race. I don't know who's going to win. I'm posting this after the sprint race, but I'm recording on Saturday at 11 AM. So I don't know who won the race. I just know who was in pole position. It is Yuki Tsunoda, but a very fun challenge to do. And guys, if you have enjoyed, make sure to smash like, scratch, and if not, see plenty more Formula 1 and F2 content. Really motivates me more. The views are not really good in the channel, especially in my career mode, when I was expecting that. So if you could share the channel and share this video, it would mean a lot to me. You'll help me to grind on YouTube, which at the moment is not being very easy. But for me, is everything, and I'll see you guys for a brand new video next time. My name's Tom, and goodbye.